Good morning, guys. It is a B day, so that means math today. It's Thursday, April 23rd, so we're almost to the end of the week here. Hopefully yesterday was a fairly easy day for you guys. And then tomorrow, remember, for those, well, all of you guys have English with me, tomorrow Mrs. Steckel will put up a assignment for us, and then we'll have a short assignment in biology and history. But anyway, so today is math. On Tuesday, I got my days totally backwards right now. On Tuesday, we started a new little unit on energy, and you guys did a little bit of work on kilowatt hours. So we went over these notes that you're looking at on your screen right now, and then you did a few of these problems down here for me. I have just one video today, and I'm hoping that it's fairly easy. It's just using a little bit of math sense, getting your calculators out and multiplying some things. But again, to give you an idea of how kilowatts or kilowatt hours look. So if you have a chance, maybe even if mom or dad have an electric bill laying around, which is really good and nice for you to know about anyway, because if mom and dad are getting on you about turning off the lights, which I am always doing with my kids, or not letting certain things run or the TV go all day long, or touching the thermostat, that one kills me. My kids will turn up the heat in the house or turn down the heat in the house, and they don't realize how much electricity we're using. But anyway, so my point is, if mom or dad have a bill laying around and you want to check it out and see how that all is laid out, then you'll have a little bit more connection with what we're doing here today. We're doing the real basics of things though, so not to scare you at all. So today, if you look at the bottom, this is a sheet that you guys did the other day for an assignment. At the bottom, it gave us like a little explanation with some examples, and then there's an example on the next page we're going to do, and one that I'm going to have you do. So stay with me here. So it says, electric companies bill their customers for the kilowatt hours. So I know I showed a little sample of an electric bill where it showed kilowatt hours, and I think it shows you kWh, and that is the amount of electricity that you use. So you can estimate the watt hours of electricity used based on how many watts of whatever devices or bulbs that you have and how long that you use them. So they have an example here. If you have a 100-watt bulb that burns for 2 hours, so you've got a lamp in your room with a 100-watt bulb in it, and you let it burn stay on for 2 hours, it uses 200 hours of electricity. And how we figure that out is we just take that 100 watts, we multiply it by the 2 hours, and that gives us the 200 watt hours to calculate what you've used. So let's say, your electric company is charging you, I don't know what, $1 per 100 watt hours, which seems stiff, but then you can figure out multiplying further, but we're not going that far. Anyway, so our next example here, 200-watt bulbs. Okay, so I've got 2 bulbs. Let's say you walk in the bathroom and there are 2 bulbs plugged into the light fixture in your bathroom, and they burn for 1 hour. Well, you're still using 200 watt hours of electricity because you take your 200 watts, because you have 2 of these 100-watt bulbs, and you multiply it by the hour that you're burning them. So that would still be 200 watt hours. They give us one last example here, and then we're going to go down here and talk about Margot. On the other hand, 3 100-watt bulbs that burn for 8 hours. Okay, so you have 300 watts total here. If you again walk in your bathroom, you've got 3 bulbs that are in the light fixture up there, and they're all 100-watt bulbs, and you turn that bathroom light on and you let it go for 8 straight hours, you're using 2,400 watt hours of electricity. And all they did there was take that 300 from the bulbs that are used and multiply it by the 8 hours of time that you ran that to give you the 2,400 watt hours. Okay, so really all you need to know for today's lesson is you're going to take the number of watts that are in the bulb or the device that you're using, you're going to multiply it by the number of hours that you're using it, and that's going to tell you your watt hours. And again, those watt hours are what are calculated when you get your electricity bill each month. So here's an example that they've done in a chart here for us, and then I'm going to have you guys do this chart down here. So Margot's family uses the following watts. Now what this is asking us to do is to put some of this information into chart form, okay? So they use 3 100-watt lights for 8 hours, okay? So 100-watt lights, they burn for 8 hours. Now, we know that if we multiply 3 times 100, that's 300, right? Or we could just add 3 or 100 up 3 times. Then we multiply by 8 and we get 2,400, okay? So look down here. Here's an explanation. The first line is done for you. 3, those are 3 lights or 3 lamps, times 100-watt lights, times the 8 hours that they're used, gave you the 2,400. So I've used that information. So if it were me, let's see if I can get my little thing over here to work. If it were me, I would say, okay, so I figured that one out. I'm going to cross this guy out. Yeah, if I can figure out how to use this. Bear with me. Maybe not. Come on now. Okay, well, it's not going to work for me. Dang it. Okay, well, let's just get, oh, there I did. I just don't have the right color on there. Maybe I want a better color. Oh, okay, you guys can laugh at me. All right, anyway, so the next piece of information, what I tried to do there was cross that out because I know I already used it. And the next piece of information, they have 2 150-watt lights, so 2 150-watt lights that they run for 3 hours, okay? So 2 lights or lamps, 150 watts, 3 hours. So if you look down here again, all they did was 2 times 150 times 3. That's how they get that 900 there. Okay. All right, so the next step that they took here, so if I could cross that out, the third piece of information, they have 2 lamps, 2 75-watt lights, 75-watt lights that they run for 4 hours. Okay, so they're running those 2 lamps at 70 watts for 4 hours. Okay, so if you multiply that straight across, so just like they did here, we get 600. Okay, now those 3 steps, easy, right? You can just take what you read up here, put them in here, and just multiply straight across. 3 times 100 times 8 times, or equals 2,400. 2 times 150 times 3 times 3 equals 900. I'm off to a great start today. 2 times 75 times 4 equals 600. That's easy, right? Okay, now, usually when somebody asks us for total, it means we need to total up what we have, right? So if we took this, this, and this, and we add it all up, we are going to get 3,900, okay? So this plus this equals 3,900. Now, we already learned just Tuesday how to take kilowatt or watts rather and change them into kilowatts, right? So we could take that and we could divide it by 1,000. And I think I'm going to write a text box here. I'm really not doing so hot with this. Okay, so I have 39,000. I could divide that by 1,000. Or if you remember, the easiest thing to do, that this was the what I had done on the board for you, was to pretend that we have a decimal right there, right? Pretend decimal. If we take that decimal and we move it over 1, 2, 3 spots, we get 3.9. Now you could keep those zeros on there if you want. Zeros will go on forever. But this part right here, we're gonna total all three of these up, add them up here, and then do just like you did on Tuesday, and you're going to divide that by 1,000, or just move the decimal 1, 2, 3 spots to get 3.9. Now, this is a lot that I'm asking you, right? There's a lot of steps to this process, but I have faith that if you give it a shot, that we'll get through it. Now, you don't have to go through a whole paragraph and pick out information to put in your chart down here. They've already done that for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first couple of these together with you, give you another reminder of what to do here, and then that's it. You guys will have to do the rest, okay? So if I go down to exercise B, which is your assignment today, complete the information for this chart, convert the total watt hours to kilowatt hours, and write your answers on your paper. So when you fill this out for me, you can number it, put it on a doc, or you can do it on pencil paper and take a picture and send it to me, whatever works best for you, okay? So if we think about what we did back up here, right? We have three light bulbs, it looks like, or 3 lamps, okay? They are running at 100 watts per bulb, and we are running them for 6 hours. All we need to do is take 3, I'm gonna punch in my calculator so I give you some accurate numbers here. I'm gonna take 3 times 100 times 6 hours burned. And if I did my math correctly, which I'm gonna double check, 3 times 100 times 6, I should get, if I can get a text box in here again for us, I should get 1,800, okay? So 1,800 watts are being burned using these 3 lamps at 100 watts per lamp, okay? So that's all I had to do. Remember, 3 times 100 times 6, done. Number 2, same thing. We're just gonna keep going straight down and do the same thing. I think I'm gonna do the first 3 for you. That'll give you guys 1, 2, 3, 4 left to do, and then figuring this out down here. So let's do these next 2. Okay, so 2 times, so 2 lamps times 75 watts per lamp times 3 hours that we burn that lamp, or use that lamp. Not necessarily burn, I guess, but that's the way they use it. I'm gonna put this guy back over here and use him. When I multiply all 3 of those numbers together, I get 450. Okay? Same thing on this next one. I've got 1 lamp times 150 watts per lamp times 4 hours that I have run that lamp. I have used 600 watts of electricity, okay? Okay, so I did these first 3 for you. So your job is to do 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's 4 problems there. Multiply straight across, and it will give you the number of watts per hour that you've used. Down here, if you remember, you are going to add. So total means add all these guys up. So once you have all these totals, now it's going to be your job to be real careful when you're using your calculator and adding these 7 totals all together. I might, if I were you, I'd maybe do it a couple of times just to make sure you have the right total. Okay, so add all of these different watts up to get a total. And then remember here, you can either divide by 1,000, or whatever this total is here, take your decimal over 3 places. Okay, I don't think I'm going to put that in there. But total, add all these up. Then to figure out what your kilowatt per hour is, or what you would be billed for on an electric bill, you're going to divide by 1,000 or move that decimal over 3 places. Okay? All right, so again, your job, 4, 5, 6, 7, figure out the total, figure out the kilowatt hours. Make sure you send me an email or have a parent call or text me or whatever you need if you're getting confused with any of this. All right, that is it for math today. I will see you guys tomorrow for well, for those that have biology and US history with me, and then Mrs. Steckel will be with you tomorrow for English. Bye, guys.
Oh, Mom.